Welcome back to the Passionate Paycheck Podcast. On today's episode, we have Heather. Hey, Heather, how's everything going?
It's great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you again for coming on. So to get started, go ahead and let the audience know a little bit about yourself and what you're currently working on.
My name is Heather Laganelli, and I have a restaurant in Bakersfield. I don't know if your audience is primarily Bakersfield based.
It's about Bakersfield and then some out of city people as well.
Okay.
So
we're located downtown across the street from the post office by the Padre. It's called Locale. It's an eatery. We've been there for 10 years now.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
10
Time
years.
flies.
I know. I would like to say when you're having fun, but it's like, man, running a business, there's no joke. I know. Every day I'm like, I don't even have to. I thought I would be this massively obese human when I first started the restaurant, and then I'm like, I forgot to eat today.
Right? Because you're so busy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have that, and the space is really unique. There's a lot of different things that are happening there. We have an art gallery in our back dining room, and then there's 100 pieces of work on the walls right now.
Oh, nice.
We partnered with a girl. She's an artist as well. Her name's Laurel, and she has a gallery space called Powell Curated Goods. It's really neat. She also does vintage finds, and so she has
nice.
furniture pieces in there as well. And then the outside of the building, there's an alley, and it's converted into a public mural space for local artists to come out and paint on that space.
Wow.
I think I've seen that one.
It's so fun. We've been doing it since 2018, April of 2018. So that's been quite a while, 7 years now.
Oh, dang.
We've hosted over 130 artists and their work.
Nice.
We've done 20 really large or more large format murals that are almost 100 feet long. Which is really
That's
neat.
a good way to bring the community together.
That's the whole purpose.
Yeah.
So when I started the restaurant, I wanted to create a space that artists and community members could come together and celebrate all the things that make Bakersfield great. And over the years, we've partnered with artisans and artists and musicians and painters and all kinds of different types of people. And then we also locally source our ingredients, and we work with local people in the community that are producing great things like Pyrenees bread. We work with Jackie from the Hen's Roost, and we do an almond butter that she makes locally down the street from us. We have an olive oil from Rio Bravo Ranch, which is at the foot of the canyon, and they have 2,900 olive trees there, which orchards that have been there for years. All kinds of things. So it's different. It's a little
Definitely
bit more
different.
unique. Yeah. And then we do cooking
good.
classes. This last week we did a sourdough making class where we taught people how to make sourdough in the community.
Oh, nice.
We do, we work with a local organization that focuses on integrating autistic youth into the community. And so we've been teaching them how to create different culinary creations. We do team building workshops. We just signed a contract with a corporation to do a few different packages where we'll offer their team ways to kind of do team building integrated with the food. So
that's all good stuff.
Yeah,
You got a lot of going on over there.
I know. And then I'm also a designer. I do interior design and renovations. I'm obsessed. I just finished my 4th property yesterday.
Oh wow.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Congratulations.
No wonder you forget to eat.
I don't I love eating. I try to eat all the time. It's just I recently discovered that I'm trying out a new way of eating new things, and it's unfamiliar to me. And so I'm how do I the go-tos that I would have in my fridge just at arm's length are not
pause
something
for now.
I'm man, my little Reese's peanut butter cups and the little things that I'm it's not that bad. The ones from Trader Joe's that are dark chocolate with peanut butter in the middle. I'm it's protein, a little bit of protein. No, they're off limits right now. Trying to figure out ways to
Can you have dates?
Yeah, actually this morning
Can you
I
have
had
dates and dark chocolate and peanut butter?
I had a blueberry bar, one of those 5 ingredient bars that they have. I forgot what they're called. It was dates, blueberries, and something else in there. It was pretty good this morning. It was fine.
Because if you get the dates, cut it in half, put peanut butter and dark chocolate on top.
Like that.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be taking a picture of that and sending that to you soon.
That's essentially how I replaced my Reese's Pieces addiction.
That's what it says. That it tastes just like Reese's Pieces.
It's crazy. You're like, oh.
There's still something about melt. Even, I don't know. I appreciate it. I did buy a big jar of Reese's peanut butter. Did you know you could do that? They sell that, literally. And I used to make like ice cream sundaes or acai. I would do like an acai bowl with that on top. Oh my goodness, so good. So I'm a big like food enthusiast. I love eating, and so this is a big adjustment for me.
Oh, I can only imagine.
So what kind of foods do you guys serve right there at the restaurant?
So we do everything under the sun. We have burgers. We source our meat from Autonomy Farms. Her name is Meredith.
That's
She's
good.
freaking great.
Yeah.
And we'll do like different style burgers. Right now we have 3 standard ones, and then sometimes we'll do like specials. So we have a fig burger that has like a fig sauce that we make in house, and then it has like bacon and like chèvre cheese, provolone cheese, caramelized onions on a brioche bun. It's delicious.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
We definitely got to go out there.
But change the subject. Let's talk about nonprofits. I'm actually involved in a nonprofit that helps service like the urban core of Bakersfield. It's called the Hub of Bakersfield. I've been connected to them for 6 years now as part of one of the original board members. And then I'm also on one of the committees, which is the People's Committee, and we do a program called the Innovation Lab, and we connect with people in the community that are passionate about making a difference. And everything that we do is focused on like the downtown kind of urban core, so like the surrounding areas of downtown.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, nice. How long have you been involved in that?
6 years.
6 years? Okay, nice. What drew you to that?
I just wanted to make a difference. I heard so many people like talking about ways that they could make Bakersfield better, and I felt like getting together with more people that were passionate about
Being
that.
a part of it.
Yeah, and like surrounding myself with other people that are equally passionate. Sometimes I feel like with ideas, like big ideas, doing those ideas alone just gets boring.
Hey, you know what? That's what I like about Bakersfield. Bakersfield is more like they try to keep that. You know, that home and everybody involved in.
Yeah, it feels good. Like in the program itself. So Monday will be our graduation for this one, and there's a bunch of people that apply, and they're just community members that are passionate about showing up and like getting better connected. And through that program we teach them about urbanism and like different, like we introduce them to city stakeholders and just different people in the community, and it's really neat. Last Sunday we went to Orange County, and we checked out that city with them, and we showed them things that like they were doing really well, and then we create like an opportunity for them to kind of digest that and then take some of those ideas and hopefully be inspired to bring some of those things back to Bakersfield.
Oh, that's smart.
Good. Yeah.
I find a lot of times we can always take outside ideas and bring them back, and it tends to work here just because a lot of times Bakersfield tends to be about 4 years behind of the rest of California.
Sometimes more.
Yeah.
I'm from Massachusetts originally. I went to school in New Haven, Connecticut, and lived in New Jersey for a little bit, and I've traveled a lot.
East Coast.
My accents escaped me, though.
I was going to say, I don't hear much of your accent.
My name's Heather.
There you go. Bring it back a little bit.
Literally. My brother still talks like that. Every time he calls me, what are you doing, Heather? He's in town too now.
Okay, nice.
I converted him to California.
There you go.
He got tired of the snow.
What drew you over here to Bakersfield?
What drew me? I met a guy in college.
Oh, okay. It's always the guy or a girl.
So you gotta thank the guy that brought you over here.
I mean, Bakersfield, I feel like it's become a second home. You know, I've been here for quite a while now, and the restaurant's been there for 10 years. And when we met in school in New Haven, Connecticut, I had never even heard of Bakersfield. It was the first time I heard of it.
Most people never have until that one time.
It was really interesting because there was like a chain of people that were coming here for soccer over there.
Oh, dang.
So actually, before I even had met him, I met somebody else from Bakersfield, and that was when I first heard of it.
That was a sign.
They're all fun. I mean, really like down to earth people. I feel like over there's a lot of like high intensity people with like different kinds of like energy.
Yeah.
And Bakersfield has a little chill vibe.
More chill vibe.
Yeah. I have to remind myself every day. I'm like, Heather, breathe.
So have you always been a foodie, like since you've been a child, or is this something that you kind of grew into?
I was a lover of dessert.
So
aren't we all?
Especially as a kid, I used to. For my like 6th birthday, my uncle bought me an Easy Bake Oven, which is like super old, way back in the day.
Right.
And there was these little like boxes, and they would have.
My
like,
sister had one of those.
Okay, thank you. I'm like, this was
you
like
can
my
bake stuff.
Yeah,
you can really bake stuff.
Literally, I know. I burned myself a million times on that. It was like ridiculously hot, but I didn't care. I just would like make stuff up, and my dad would always make fun of me. He's like, he called me Skippy, and he's like, Skip, you can't just like not follow the instructions. And I was like, why, Dad? It tastes better if I add all these chocolate chips and some nuts to this and like some frosting later. And he's like, you'll learn. That's where it started, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from there, after did you just have a phase of like desserts? And then after dessert, you kind of started like, oh, if I do this, and this tastes really good. Or like creating your own recipes, essentially. I'm
an artist, so I think it's really easy to kind of come up with ways to make things unique. And when I think of the things that I want to eat, I get excited. And then, especially when you're hungry, like every time, I feel like everything is born from just me being hungry, especially at the restaurant. There's so many times where I'm like, I'm here, I've been here for how many years? I don't want to eat the things that we have all the time. Like, how can I come up with something different? Yeah.
Oh, that's
so it's been fun. When I first graduated college, though, and I got an apartment, that's when I started to explore a little bit more. That was the first time I had like my own kitchen and no rules, no like parents being like, you're in the way or whatever, you know? Like, I would always bake before because it was like free space. And then for dinner, they were doing other things. And I really didn't care about dinner before I was in college. I don't even think in college I cared about dinner.
Right.
Yeah. I wouldn't, you know how it is when you're younger. Or like,
you're going.
Anything. I would get little like sides and snacks and little things, but I wasn't as like excited about eating as much as I have been after college.
Okay.
Through that, though, I had roommates, and we would like get together for dinner, and I would make up something, and I don't even know what I was doing. I'd start watching like Food Network and get inspired. And then as I started doing that, I got a little bit better as I would go along. And before you know it, people were like, can I come over to your house? Will you make me this? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
that again, please?
You want me to make that? Okay. I don't even remember how to do that. Like,
I freestyled it.
Literally, I'm like, I don't know if it's going to come out as good as last time. It was great. It would always evolve. It was fun.
Make it better every time.
Yeah, it was fun.
More experience, more everything.
Yeah.
So how did Locale come about?
Kind of because of that same reason. People kept asking me to come over and like have dinner, and I was like, man, I went to the store, I got all the things, I cleaned my house, I like went and found wine that tastes great, I did all these things and had to do the dishes, and I'm like, this is crap.
You're doing all that work.
Yes, I'm literally getting paid. I'm paying for this, you know, like I might as well expand. And there was I wanted to open a wine bar originally. That was my like initial like passion.
Idea.
Yeah, because I did really well with pairing food and wine, and I thought there was a huge need for that 10 years ago. And it just ended up being that there was a property that was available, and it was a lunch place, and that place had been in business for 10 years, and I had an opportunity to purchase that business, and I was handed the key to somebody else's like 10-year like lifelong
project.
Yeah, like it was her retirement. So she retired, this woman, she worked in grocery stores, and her name was Vicki Ledbetter, and she was like, I always wanted to own a restaurant, and so she started it from like nothing.
Scratch.
Yeah, and she worked her butt off for 10 years.
It's hard, yeah.
I remember when she came back to see how I was doing, like maybe like 6 months later, she looked like 10 years younger. I was like, what did you do? She's like, oh, I don't have to worry about, I can do whatever I want. I was like, here I am 10 years later. I'm like, Heather. Yeah. I mean.
When you own a business, it tends to happen.
It does. And there's always something new. And like, even just listing all the things that I've been up to, I'm like, man, I could go on. And I feel like there's this like passion for just like contributing for me to the community. And I work with Dr. Anna Marie Frank, and we have a podcast together too, and we interview people and talk to people and just kind of connect people, and
that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I think it's fun. I look back and I'm like, I love all the concepts that I've come up with and brought to life, and then I love being able to share those with people that care about it. It feels good to make a difference.
Network, and everybody come together, and everybody has a voice that could, tell about their story, their experience.
And I love our community. There's so many amazing people doing so many great things.
Bakersfield's real good for that.
Yeah, it's like such a feel-good space.
You don't realize that until you start talking and networking with people. You're like, oh, shoot, this actually is a big community of like people, like-minded people who like helping each other.
They're coming together.
Yeah.
And helping each other and everything like that.
Yeah, it's great. I feel like there's never a dull moment. There's always something going on. And it's always interesting to me, too, to see, like, when people are like, there's nothing to do in Bakersfield. I'm like, have you tried? Like, like, have you looked for things? Because I think there's that, too.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
going out of our way to like hunt down and like seek out fun things to do.
And not only that, Bakersfield's grown a lot in the last 10 years. It's been insane.
Yeah.
The amount of growth we got. And then we got a lot of people coming from the LA area and the coast.
Yeah, that's been great too, just to see that diversity kind of shift. And through the restaurant, through the restaurant, I've been able to meet so many different types of people that are coming in, and we get a lot of travelers. It's really interesting. Yeah.
Because you're right there on the corner, right? Right across. Is it the one that looks like a gas station?
Yeah.
That little, okay.
It looks like a gas station. It was built in like 1930 something. And the gas station awning was put in the 50s, I think. It was like, maybe it was 47 or something like that. Shoot. Yeah, there's a lot of history there. It's really neat. The original owner was Vincent Claroux, and he also owned Vincent Cyclery, the bike shop.
Oh, okay.
And then he had like a gas station with like mechanic shop, and at one point it became like a place for safe sales, and he collected safes. And then he installed this massive vault door in our back dining room. He brought it in from the First National Security Bank that was put in like 1911, and it's installed in our back dining room, and it's where the 1800, where that old bank that got recovered is. That was their vault door that's in our back dining room right now.
I bet it looks nice right there.
It looks really neat. And then on the other side, there's a school that just moved in August. It's called California Art and Technology School. And the glass portion of the door, because like a vault door has that glass piece too, it's on their side of the vault, so they preserved it, so you can still like kind of see it. It's
keeps
cool.
the history intact.
So you get to see the whole mechanism inside and all that?
So I always like on our side it looks like it's going into something, and on their side it looks like it's going into something, but it's really just a concrete wall that we share. And so like both sides are there intact. I used to tell people that I kept all my millions in there, but I lost them all, Damn it. Yeah, I lost the combination.
Let's figure it out.
Right.
So with all the creations you've created at Locale, what's been one of your favorite dishes you've made?
There's so many. It's kind of hard
all
to
of
tell. There's so many. There's like... I can't even, like, there's one that's really popular that everybody loves. It's our sweet potato and Brussels sprout bowl, and it's made with a garlic aioli and pecorino romano and bacon, and we do an egg over easy on top with sweet potatoes and Brussels sprouts. So it's like cheese, meat, vegetables, like good protein, and great flavor. That one's always a good one.
Yeah.
One of the things that is a little underrated that I order all the time is called our curry frites, and it's sweet potatoes, carrots, almond butter from the Hen's Roost, and a little bit of coconut milk and some pineapple juice with, we blend it and turn it into like a glaze, and then we do that over regular potatoes with an egg and some slow-cooked pulled pork that we cook for like 15 hours.
Making me hungry right now.
I know, I'm sorry. And then we put like toasted almonds on top and some sour cream and some cilantro. So it's like... The one thing, the commonality in our menu is it's just not basic.
Yeah, that sounds like you guys did a lot of experimenting with
like a lot of flavor.
Yeah, with the ingredients and the flavors,
We do other things.
Definitely different.
Yeah, like even our tuna is different. We do like apples and cranberries and walnuts and celery and onions, and we serve
it. Like a sweet taste.
Yeah, it's like, and then it's on a croissant, so the croissant's a little bit more like savory with avocado and provolone cheese, and we use Himalayan salt because it has a bunch of minerals in it, and it's
nice.
We make sure it's not from China because there's like lots of metals in the Chinese one, I guess, right now. Yeah, all the things. So basically, if you were making food at home, that's kind of how it started for me. And I just started to research like what is good for us, and like discovered ways to like fuel our bodies in ways that would like create a good foundation. And that's what the menu is built on. Just food that's real food, like not a bunch of like crap or like processed stuff. We make even our barbecue sauce. We make it in house from scratch. Like we make everything we possibly can in house, and we will use like local honey from Kern Honey and like good ingredients as a base.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So when you first started, was it just you cooking everything?
I'm a really good cook, and I'm not good in that fast-paced volume environment, and so I'm so detail-oriented that
I got to take my time, and
it's not in my mind. I thought like that was the way that it would be when I went into that space. I'm like, it's gonna be so easy, and I'm just gonna be like cutely crafting and curating all of these dishes, and then like 40 tickets come in, and I'm like, not my role. Like I know my lane, and that is not my lane. I'm great talking on social media. I'm great coming up with recipes. I'm a great taster normally. normally, except for today. For the next 30 days, maybe not so much. But for the most part, like, I have a lot of good hats that I can wear, and being on the line, quote unquote, is they don't like that.
Okay. So you had someone cook at the beginning of the restaurant too?
I just taught people how to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I would just, I could do it. I can do 1, 2, 3, 5, 10.
Yeah.
But 50, 60, like on the spot,
Yeah.
like not it. And we are a scratch kitchen, so we're more like a
Yeah,
slow
it takes a little
food.
longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not like we're just like at bay in this little like
Yeah.
holding something tray or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just taught people individually, and then over the
Nice.
years, like they've taught the next person, and I can work the salad line. Like I've done that 1,000 times over, and that one's easy for me 'cause
Right.
it's like we have 9 salads. It's not
Yeah.
like a crazy amount, and yeah, I know my lane.
There you go.
Well, at least you're aware, so that's always good.
Yeah.
And then as you've been running the business, what's been one of the biggest challenges as far as managing the people
the people.
the people
Yeah.
of the restaurant, kind of keeping them motivated to keep working and kind of keep them motivated as far as...
So as far as people goes, I mean, I love people, and I've noticed that I have like such a passion for like connecting. In a space like that, it comes with time and growing, and I still think I'm learning how to do that well. I don't think that's my lane either. Like managing people, I don't think is my strong suit. I think I get so excited about eating and like passionate about all the flavors and the fun, and then they're like, "Dude, we're working," and I'm like, "But wait, do you want to try this?" And they're like, "No, I don't want to try that, Heather." So yeah, I feel like there's no right answer to that question. There's so many things that go into it, and like no matter what, like it's ever evolving. And over the years, I've been really lucky to have aligned with a lot of great people, and sometimes those people stay for like 5 years, sometimes they stay for 8, sometimes
Right.
they stay for 2, sometimes they stay
Okay.
for like a month. It's just like so many different types of people. And I look back and I look at how many like jobs that my business has created over the years. It's been like, I think I've employed over 130 or 40 people in the last 10 years, which is pretty
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
pretty impressive, I
That's
think.
good.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, I read about management. I read about,
Okay, nice.
I like research. I listen to podcasts. I like bring in people that know more than I do. I try to find ways to like continuously grow. And I don't think I've ever like arrived.
I see
You
so a
know?
lot of self-development.
You never finish learning.
Yeah, there's always
Never stop
something.
learning.
Yeah, and every day, I mean, we've been doing employee evaluations. I call them our team members because I think it's better.
Yeah.
Like looking at somebody from a team dynamic and knowing that every single person matters and like,
Oh, yeah.
contributes to that dynamic is really like important to me. So we do evaluations, like especially with people when they've been there for a short amount of time, or maybe it's like a new job. We have a girl that's been with us for a year. She started when she was 16, and she's never had an evaluation done. We did one on Thursday, I think, or Wednesday or something with her. And I told her like 5 days in advance, like, hey, I'm going to schedule you next week to do an evaluation. And then one of the other team members was like, am I in trouble? And then I had to call her and I was like, hey girl, like, you're not in trouble. This is normal. Like people do that. But she's never had a job before, and so
Right.
this
Oh,
is her
that
first
makes sense.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cute though. I asked her a lot of questions. I'm like, how do you think you're doing with these things? And she's like, me? You want me to answer that? I was like, yeah, you're the first person. You would know best. I'm curious to know like where you stand and where you think you stand. So
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give her
I
a
like
voice
that.
and
yeah,
make her part of the team.
yeah, and like to
Feel
be
more comfortable.
interacting with like
Yeah.
the review. I mean, I feel like to like use your brain in a way that's to reflect on how we show up is it's not always common. So I think that was
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because
Yeah.
it makes them think more like, okay, what have I been doing?
And I noticed that she was like a little hard on
They're like,
herself
"Hold on."
sometimes. I was like, oh wow, girl, I'm gonna give you a higher rating than that. And she's like, really? It was cute. Yeah,
That's good.
Nice.
yeah, it was fun.
So, running a restaurant, I know a lot of people can have misconceptions about it. What's one of the biggest ones you've came across since running your restaurant?
A lot of people think that running a restaurant is hard, and I don't think there's anything like.
They always say that. I was
I
about to
know.
say that. Like, they say that running a restaurant is the hardest business you could have.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a misconception. I think that's like dead on the money, like like 100% right. We'll just knock that one out, put it in a different category, and move on. I think the misconception comes with like figuring it out. Like I would have thought that like after 10 years, like people tell me all the time, like you're so successful, and I'm like, You're talking to me? Is there somebody else that you're looking at? Because like I don't really. Thanks. How do you view success? Like, what does success look like to you? Right. And I think that there's always, so much that goes into it. Every day I'm learning. I learn every single day something new.
Oh yeah.
I thought that it would just be this like well-oiled machine by now, and it's not even close.
It's never like that.
No.
You can always make certain tweaks and make things even better and better, more efficient, more effective.
And like growing, like I think one of the most important parts is like not becoming stagnant and like finding ways to be like relevant in society at large, like in our community, like within our own like close-knit group of people that we like have on our team. Like there's so many different elements and aspects to the running a restaurant, period. And then staying relevant and doing fun things and like being a little cutting edge, like staying up with social media and like making time and finding a way to like be unique. I think I love that. I love that part. I think that's definitely one of the areas that I would say I could confidently say I excel at. The creative side of running a business is something that comes like second nature to me when it comes to like just mastering the whole thing. Like every day I go to bed thinking like I could have done like 20 more things than I did today.
Yeah, same. Well, I could have done this, and this. I should have done that.
And I try not to should, because it's like I don't want to judge myself. So, like I just try to accept it for what it is and like find ways to continue moving forward. And I know like putting my best foot forward and just doing all I can and knowing that it's not going to be enough sometimes, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it goes, because I wake up with a million things to do. I get a million things done, and there's a million things you didn't do. That's how it feels.
Yeah. And I know.
I need a longer day.
I know. And I think like to myself, like sometimes when I have a deadline for something, it's great, because then I find myself like pushing myself, a little bit more. If I have so much time, it helps me like fit in little things. Even if it's just I did like 10 minutes today of something, I know that that's like 10 minutes towards a direction that is going to be like lucrative in the long run.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So do you always listen like the podcasts or books, or do you prefer one over the other?
I'm obsessed with Diary of a CEO right now.
Okay.
I can't get enough. It's like just incredible. Have you seen it?
No. He's trying to get us hooked now.
You're going to see it, and you're going to be like, okay, Heather, texting me, like, what'd you think about this episode? Stephen Bartlett, he's done so many. He's British, I think, or he has an accent. I'm pretty sure he lives in, like, London or somewhere near there. And he just interviews people that are, like, genius, like gurus, like world changers. Like he's had Elon Musk on there. He's like all kinds of people, and what they talk about is so intriguing to me because it's like really in depth and there's not a lot of pressure. I know, like with my podcast with Anna, sometimes I feel like I can't talk fast enough and I just want to like get all this information out as quickly as I possibly can. And with them, they do this like long format where it's like 2 hours, 3 hours, and they're just like unpacking all of this great content.
Slow pace.
And it's great. And sometimes I listen for 20 minutes, or on my way driving somewhere, I'll listen for 10. And sometimes in the shower, I'll listen for 5. And I'll just get like little bits here and there. And I always learn something, and it's empowering.
Oh, check that out. I haven't seen that one.
You're going to love it.
Yeah.
You're going to love it. And you're especially going to love it because I know about you and like what you do and like what you care about. And he's kind of like that too, where he's really into his body and his like fitness, when he's also into how his mind works and like
that
kind of like
interesting for sure.
It's like right up your alley. You both are gonna be like, thank you, Heather.
Thank you, Heather. I can't stop listening.
Literally, the first
we're hooked on
my God, you will be. I think you will be. I'm pretty confident. I would be willing to bet $500.
That's funny.
So I got a question. So how do you do with all the projects you got going on and in your business, and how do you balance all that in one of your days?
What does that word mean?
Right?
Can you define the word balance? I have not found balance.
Just figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out as you go.
I have no idea. Like I have not figured it all out. I know less than probably most people do about things. Like I just show up and I continue to show up, and sometimes like
no matter how you feel, you show up with consistency.
Yeah, if it means I get less sleep one night and more the other night, and I just say yes to the things that maybe scare me sometimes, and I just do it anyways. And it's not great. I'm sure I just had that test done that I was telling you about before we started recording, and they tested my cortisol.
It's down here.
They literally were like, the woman, her name's Dr. Jennifer Woodward. Oh, no, she's not a doctor, I don't think. She's incredible, whatever she is. And she was like, girl, I'm going to use this tomorrow for this class I'm teaching, because this is the first time I've ever seen this type of a result before. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, they had to extend the graph. Usually it ends at like 100. My cortisol level was at 293.
Oh, wow.
She's like, it was up 193 points above the high. The highest is 100. Wow. 100, and I like tripled the high. Yeah. Not good. So she was like, you just managed how you've figured out a way to manage your stress in a way that is pretty impressive, and your body has gotten so accustomed to you constantly being in this like whirlwind of a life that you've created for yourself. And I do find time to like unwind, and like reading is one, like podcast is another. I do like some breath work and like meditation.
Oh, nice. That's good.
I try to get outside as often as I can. I love to go to the canyon out there.
Oh, yeah, it's nice.
Oh, nice.
I love it out there. One of my friends has a little property on the river out there, and so whenever I can get over there, I like to do that and like find ways to lose track of time. You know, like Sundays I try to just not schedule things on purpose so that I can like.
That's your day.
Yeah.
Reset.
Yeah.
Recharge.
I wear this ring. The Aura ring.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Anna was telling me about it. She wears it too.
She influenced me. She did, because I'll show you the results. It's pretty impressive. So every day it tracks like so many things. It tracks your heart rate, it tracks your activity level, it tracks your stress levels. I like to see how stressed I feel after I hang out with somebody and to decide whether or not I want to hang out with them again.
I'm not hanging out with that person no more.
Just buy one just to hang out. Right, let's see what this is gonna be.
But it's great. It tracks your sleep. Like my readiness for today. This is the face of the app.
Oh, okay.
My readiness for today. I got a crown, which means that I did something good yesterday. It usually carries over to the next day.
Okay.
And then like sleep, it gives you ratings for your sleep and like tells you how often you wake up and how well you've slept and all the types of deep sleep. And then it gives you like scores and efficiency levels. And for me, I just wanted to be able to track my stress because I felt like I could tell that there was something going on that wasn't like conducive to like my well-being. And I went and had that reading done with Dr. Anna Marie, and she did the eye iridology. You know, she does that, and she was like, your nervous system is not okay. And so I was like, I think this is probably a good start. That's what I'm telling you. Like, people think
that's normal for an entrepreneur. Anybody that owns a business, because I did that with Dr. Anna Marie as well. And she's like, your stress level is high. I was like, well, that's normal for me. I've been self-employed for 19 years. Like that's like I could perform like that at a high stress level. You know, and it's like. It's just a regular day. It's
just bad for us. And that's why I'm like, man, I was just reading this book the other day. I have a book club. One of the books that they had chose for the book club was just this, like, love story. And in the love story, she was going to school to become a brain surgeon, the main character. And at the end, she's like, I don't want to live a life where like the life passed me by and there was like nothing left and I wasn't able to be in the moment. So she like quit becoming a brain surgeon in this like fictional book. And I was like, man, that's the answer. Like, just quit. Like, there has to be some kind of balance to answer your question. Yeah. I literally have not found it. I seek it every single day. I try to find time for myself, like an hour here, 20 minutes there. Yeah. I love slow mornings. Like, I intentionally try not to schedule anything before like 9 o'clock in the morning just so that I can like peacefully awake.
Yeah.
And it's a conscious effort to continuously find things that light me up.
Right,
and
that work for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When I go on vacation, I feel like that's like the easiest way, you know?
Yeah.
Lose track of time, especially if I don't have service.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I go on vacation, though, something happens crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It never fails. Like, one time somebody drove into the building. No, I didn't have service. I'm like, I got back and, like, I'm like, what happened? And they're like, oh, like, this big truck, like, got stuck under the awning, and they, like, drove into, I know. The roof collapsed one time, like crazy stuff every time. It never fails.
You got to come back and clean that up and.
Well, and that's another misconception, I think, like like thinking that we just can figure it all out and like it's going to be easy and fine. I used to tell myself every night before I went to bed, like, whatever comes my way, there'll be a fire, I'll put it out, I'll figure it out. And now I'm like, no, Heather, like for the last like 2 years, I'm like, tomorrow's going to be a great day.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to subscribe to that mentality anymore. I'm going to tell myself, even if it's a lie, like if I don't believe it, whatever, I'm going to lie to myself every night before I go to bed and tell myself that tomorrow's going to be amazing. I've seen a big difference.
Nice.
I've seen
the outlook, huh?
I've seen a big difference. Yeah.
Manifesting.
Is that something you picked up from Anna?
No, I just knew whatever I was doing before for 8 years was not working. And I was like,
it's about to change. It's time to change now.
I cannot be doing the same crap over and over again, you know?
Well, that's good. You kind of became aware and just was like, maybe I just switch this.
Yeah.
But maybe even like when I train Anna and I see her every week, I feel like her energy rubs off on me every week. I'm like, can't wait till I see Anna.
Yeah, like being around people that have a different kind of mindset. I had a friend that was involved in the Innovation Lab. Her name's Caitlin. And she would tell me all the time that like complaining is a hobby. And I was like, I never, like, she didn't tell me, but I would hear her saying it like about other things. She's like, oh yeah, it's like something that people do to like fill their time kind of thing.
Right.
I never really considered that until I heard her say that. And then I started to think like, okay, so I started to do this thing where if I complained, I would like move a bracelet to the other arm to kind of like track like how often I was complaining, just to create like a little bit of awareness around it.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Did all of them move to the other arm?
It wasn't that bad. I figured out ways. I think I was mostly complaining about like not being able to like figure out how to get all the stuff done, or like saying yes to things and then being like, what was I thinking? You know, like in the middle of it, like, this is dumb. This is the stupidest idea I've ever had. Literally. Yes. And then later at the end, I'm like, this was great. I loved that. It's was like the roller
incredible. Coaster of emotion.
I just did something like miraculous. Like I'm a freaking subhuman person, like superhuman. Yeah. I haven't figured it out. I don't know anybody that has. If you met somebody that has, let me know.
No, I'm still trying to figure it out. A lot of times I use like working out, meditation, walks. A lot of what I found helps the most is meditation.
Yeah.
And just really just closing your eyes and just going out and just letting everything go and just really just like releasing and then going.
I found myself going on vacation a lot, and then I was like, okay, Heather, this is not practical. Like, you can just be like taking a vacation from your life, and what kind of life do you have if you just want to go on vacation all the time, right? Yeah. Like, escape the life that you've built. So, like, right before the pandemic hit, I decided, maybe like a year before the pandemic, I was like, I'm going to build a life that I want to be in, that I want to wake up for, that I want to get out of bed and,
that
like...
you don't need a vacation from.
Yeah. And so I started to, like, challenge myself to do new things. Like, I had a friend, Jill, we would go, like, to a new place every month. Like once a month we would just be like, we've never been, let's find a place we've never been and go there in Bakersfield. Yeah, and like just,
that's good.
Yeah, or we would go to like 3 places. Like we do like little tours instead of, you know, when you go to other cities and like countries, they do like food tours. We'd like make our own food tour. Like we're only gonna eat one thing at this place, and then we're gonna go to that place and we're gonna eat one thing, and we're gonna go to that place and we're gonna eat one thing, and then we'll share it.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, so like seeking out fun and figuring out ways to like boost dopamine. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Getting creative. The artistic coming out.
100.
So do you create most of your recipes at the Locale, or do like employees ever create anything?
Our team is pretty good. Like we have a really great like foundation in the kitchen. We've had people that have worked with us for a while. One of the guys has been with us for 8.5 years.
Oh, he's almost the whole time.
I know. And he's been like, he's a really good guy to like bounce ideas off of. So I'll come up with something sometimes and then like I'll tell him about it, and then he'll be like, okay, what if we do this? Or what if we do that? Or how about if we change this one thing? And just kind of collaborating. I'm a big ideas person, so sometimes I have to like rein myself in. I think like last week we had like 7 specials and they were like, Heather, do you think that's too much? And I was like, no, like, is that a problem? Like, are you going to tell me no? This is my place. I want to do that. So yeah, we had to like wait for some of them to sell out and then like take a break.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's always like an abundance. I felt like sometimes in the beginning, like way before when I first started, I thought maybe I would like run out of ideas.
They just keep coming on.
It hasn't happened.
That's a big passion.
I think that's like a myth, a common myth about creativity, like that it's going to run out.
Oh no, it never
No,
goes out.
no, especially as an entrepreneur.
Not when you have a passion for it as well. You know, you have to have that passion. If you're not really passionate, you will run out. But if you're really passionate, you won't.
I think one of the bigger challenges is finding a way to like stay in my own lane. Like, okay, this is your idea, Heather. Like, we're gonna stick with this, and then not get sidetracked by all these other fun things and little like squirrel moments. You know?
Yeah.
How's that going?
I've been good at it. I mean, I definitely do more than the average person, like with renovating and like the restaurant and nonprofit work and all of those things and podcasting and social media. I do more than the average person. However, I try to like kind of check myself from time to time.
Okay.
I have a business coach that helps with that too.
That's
good.
Nice.
So that helps a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, the accountability. Yeah.
So do you do even like do you have a lot of things on your calendar where you time management, like for this amount of time I do this and then this?
I'm not good at that. As an artist, that's like sounds terrible. I'm like, you want to confine me to these things? I don't want to be confined.
I've noticed that most artists, they like taking their time.
Yeah.
They like taking their time and usually that like slow pace.
Yeah.
And like rush is not good for them.
I can still handle like that fast-paced environment. Mm-hmm. I just don't like to be like, I'm doing this for an hour. Mm-hmm. And even like going to the like whole try new things in 3 places, like if someone's like, okay, well, yeah, I can meet up with you at 6 to 8. I'm like, I don't want to. Like, find a day that you don't have to be done by 8. Yeah, like I don't
tell
want
Heather what time.
So you can
you
could just go and freestyle it.
Yeah, like when you're going out for dinner and stuff, like I don't want to have like a limit. Like that seems so like
I gotta go.
I know it's so to me it feels more stressful to do that, and some people love that. Like I know Anna loves it. The other day, she freaking loves it. It makes me feel like I can't breathe. We're going out of town. It does. I'm like, how? We're going out of town for a conference that she's going to be like a keynote speaker at, and she needed somebody to help her with some like videography stuff, and not my lane, and and a real like great appreciation for people that do that, and I'm still like I have a vision, I can have an eye for that, and so I was like, girl, yeah, I'll go with you, and I already knew better. Like as soon as I said yes, I would go. I'm like, what time is she gonna want to leave? Because she's like 4 o'clock in the morning kind of person. Like
5 o'clock. We're leaving right at 5.
In a.m. Like not p.m. This is like the wrong number, the wrong letters for me. And so she's like, yeah. So I was thinking we can get like a blowout at 7 a.m. And I'm like, you should do that. That's a great idea for you. You want to go get your hair done at 7 a.m.? By all means. Let me know when you're done. Come get me. I'll be ready at 8:30. Great.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome. But like to her, like that's exciting to like get out of bed at like 5 and like do her morning routine and all that. And I don't like that.
You're the yang to her yin.
I don't know. It's to be determined. We've been friends for a while, so we haven't like fallen off yet. I mean, it's safe to say that we're probably going to be in each other's life for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think I ever will be a morning person.
Yeah, you guys
be
are
confident about that.
Opposite.
Yeah. So I try to schedule things like after 9, after 9 a.m. And then I try to do like a couple of days a week that are a little like more like jam packed, so that I don't have to have like one thing here and 2 things there, and then I have a little bit more freedom in the rest of the week. And Sundays I try to not do anything. Yeah. I'll do things, fun things that I feel like doing.
Yeah. That's your time.
Yeah, like whenever I feel like it. Yeah.
What's one of your favorite things to do?
I mean, I love getting outside. I like painting, like drawing, cooking. I like hanging out with people. I feel like that's a huge part of like my happiness is like connecting with people and like sharing space. I live alone, so I think sometimes it's like I'll just be in my house alone and I'm like, this is boring. Let me see what my friends are doing and like have somebody come over and hang out or go swimming or
nice.
Anything just
it's
to
about
like
that time now. It's about to get warm.
I know. Last week it was like a couple of days. It was fine.
Crazy.
We haven't been able to decide what we want to do yet. I'm okay with that. Like give me some cool days, some warm days. No complaints
This
here.
week's gonna be pretty warm though. I think we're gonna go like high 80s already.
Yeah, I'll be working on my tan. Today I wore a sleeveless on purpose. I'm like I need to tan my arms a little bit.
I definitely need to work on my tan.
Yeah. It's bad.
I got like 1, 2, 3, 5
It's the
shades.
first, I know, and like the first time I'm out there, I definitely will burn because like I haven't been outside for a while, and then later it'll be fine. I'm Italian, so I'm lucky. I get like that like golden brown.
Oh yeah, you won't get too red.
Yeah, I have no complaints. I hit the lottery, the gene pool.
There you go.
Yeah, the tanning lottery.
So, as far as your business being local, what kind of makes it unique compared to other local business restaurants?
I think all of those things that I said. Like, I was talking to one of my friends. She's a florist and she lives in Connecticut, and I do business consulting too. And so
yeah, all kinds of hats.
What don't you do?
I do, but as an entrepreneur, there's like,
yeah, we do it all.
I started off as like nothing to do with restaurants, and then those skills are still just at bay back there somewhere. We were talking though about like a traditional restaurant and like what most restaurateurs would offer to like their customers and their guests, and she's like, girl, you're doing all these other things that like I don't see other restaurants doing in Connecticut. And I was like, yeah, I know, girl, this is called like paying the bills. Like, there's ways to diversify and like create opportunities to like give people more like job security and like offering unique things that other people don't do. So the classes, the cooking classes, the team building classes,
that's unique.
Yeah,
sure.
sourdough making classes, the art experiences. Like we offer unique things, and I think that that's what really has like kept us going forward.
Yeah, because 10 years of business is not easy.
No.
So whatever you're doing has been working quite well.
Yeah, I still think that every day is a new day, and I'm like,
it definitely is a new day.
deep breath, like internal sigh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get ready for another great day.
Right? I know. Literally every day it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great day today.
It's been really effective.
So what's kind of your 5-year vision for your business right now?
I want to open for dinner. I want to try to find a way to. I've never really like designed that space. So as an interior designer, it's kind of like hard for me to go into that space and look at it and feel like, ooh, this is awesome. I feel like it's good. It's evolved. There's definitely been a lot of improvements over the years, and earn those little improvements like baby steps along the way. And so I look forward to kind of like reimagining the space and opening up for dinner, and maybe even putting a bar in there and like expanding a little bit.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. It will be really, I think it's warranted. A lot of our customers and our guests and the people that have followed us and are big fans along the way have been asking for it for a long time. And so it's been something that I've been like dragging my feet on, because I know I'm like one person, and I still feel like I have so much to learn and to like knowledge to gain, you know?
So you just keep learning.
I know.
Keep learning.
And when I look back at like how I started and like where I am today, like as an artist, originally I was doing so many different things, and being able to like utilize all of that from the foundation of being an artist and implementing those things into the business, it's been kind of fun to see how that's unfolded. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Because I started off, I went to school for design, and I would do like interior design as a hobby kind of thing, just in my own personal spaces. Yeah. And then as I kind of grew up and evolved, I started doing photography, and that was it was a minor that I had in college. And so photography has always been like a passion of mine. I used to do like wedding photography and like event photography, and then I did like floral design and like.
That's why Anna asked you.
Yeah, right? She's like, I know, girl. I know you have that eye. I know. Yeah. I'm happy to be in a conference though anyways, and to glean whatever like information is going to be shared.
Yeah.
That's always fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I forgot your question, but I think I answered it.
Yeah. So I like how you bring the community a lot with your business. Was that something you started at the beginning, or is that something you kind of saw a opening of like, maybe I should offer the community some extra things now?
It was something that I started in the beginning.
You started at the beginning.
I knew that was a huge component into growing a business, and just through my own entrepreneurial like journey before I had the restaurant, I've had other businesses besides the ones I even just mentioned to you now. And through that, I learned that like one person isn't enough. You know, it's not about me only. It's about like all the other people that have an opportunity, giving those people the opportunity to shine, and not just being like a one-stop shop. So
I like that. That's good.
I started off with music, and that was like a really big component. I think that oftentimes for lunch, people aren't accustomed to hearing live music. And that was one of the things that I really wanted to be able to offer. I know when I travel, oftentimes, like if you're in a cafe, there's live music. It feels so good. And it's like a great like little reprieve.
It makes you feel like you're on vacation.
It's like a reprieve.
Like a release,
Yeah, like you're able to like kick back, relax a little bit, even if you just came from the office. And I remember what it was like. I used to work at the newspaper here in town at the Californian as a designer, and it was freezing, like, you know, AC it was like cranked up there, and getting out of the office and like just going and sitting on a patio somewhere was always like what I wanted. And then having music, like there was nowhere. I didn't know of anywhere in town that was doing that. And a lot of people told me I was crazy in the beginning. They're like,
they always say you're crazy at the beginning, and then they're like, oh, that was such a great idea.
I know. even with the concept of like locally sourcing things and like working and building partnerships within the community and giving people spaces to share what they do well, like people were like, Bakersfield doesn't want that in the beginning. And I was like, I want it. So if I want it, other people want it. And if it's only for me in the beginning, like, I don't know. I find that hard to believe that if I want something that nobody else wants that.
Yeah. So, I like that.
It's always been like a big focus, and through that, like so many relationships have formed.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably met a lot of people just through that small community event, and random people you may have never even have met if that event wasn't even available to the community.
And people reach out, and they're like, yesterday somebody dropped off a candle. And then like a couple of days ago, somebody dropped off some soap, and like before you know it, it's like kind of expanded from like food to other offerings, and it's awesome. We've built a really great social media presence. I have like 17,000 and something followers right now on our page, and through that, like people see that and they're like, oh, okay, maybe I can like grow my business through being involved with Locale.
Right.
And I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, network together.
I love it. I've partnered with so many people over the years.
We all grow together.
Yeah, and sometimes people have made fun of me for it. They're like, Heather, don't you think it's time to like focus on your own business and stop like promoting other people's businesses? I've been told that like countless times.
But technically you are, because you're helping others. So then that makes you look good too, which I don't think...
You help one another.
I think it's their point of view of not being the actual business owner, not realizing it's not just about this, it's about the bigger picture. Like I'm trying to build something with the local community, trying to help people, not just promote my business, because I always tell people I'm gonna do fine, but if I can help you, then that's something I can do, because they're not gonna take money out of your pocket. Right? Because you're gonna hustle, you're gonna do what you have to do to create your money. So then just helping someone will just bring more, I think it will create more business for you in the long term because of that karma that you're getting, doing good for others, and then more good's going to come.
100%. And I think that through like the relationships that are built over those types of like interactions, it just continuously unfolds into more great opportunities. And I tell myself all the time, because sometimes I can't go to the restaurant every day. Like I wish I could, I don't say wish. I really value the time that I spend there, because it's always like expansive. Like every single time I walk into that space, there's something that happens that's magical. It's wild. It never fails me, whether it be like a connection through a team member or somebody that's walked in the door for the first time or somebody that's been coming there for a long time. And that in itself is invaluable. And then on top of that, like all the interpersonal relationships that have been built over the years through partnerships. Great. And the other day we met at the Stars Theater. There's a person that's taken over for them. Her name's Amy Adams. She's a singer in our community, and she started about 6 months ago with them to kind of like reestablish what they're doing and like elevate the theater. So we partnered with them about a month and a half ago, and we devised like this creative appetizer menu, and I came up with the pairing, because remember I told you that my passion was through wine tasting and experiences. And so I created a pairing, so each element was paired with wine, and it was interactive. And through that like partnership in itself, like I met so many cool people, and I was able to like build relationships with people in the kitchen that I probably never would have met, and then the people that did the marketing, and then the people that managed the stage and the sound and the audio, and like so many cool like connections that just came from saying yes to like showing up and like trying something new. And that is like one of hundreds of thousands of things that have happened over the last 10 years, which is magical.
Just show up.
Literally.
That's what I tell my clients. Just show up.
Literally.
Just show up. Even if you don't feel like coming, just show up.
Consistency.
I always feel better. And sometimes like I tell the news all the time, because they're looking for avenues and outlets to like create stories and like build community and share great things that are happening. And I tell them, like, you can reach out to me anytime. If it's an hour before and you want somebody to go on, if I'm available, I'll say yes. So over the years, I've said yes to going on the news so many times that I've built really great relationships with them and trust with them. And they know that I'm going to show up, and I'm going to show up in big ways and not just be like half-heartedly like doing something.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of neat. Yeah.
How long have you built that relationship?
The whole time.
The whole time?
Yeah.
Since you worked at the newspaper, have you had that relationship too, or started at that point?
So the newspaper, I feel like, has gone through a lot of changes over the years. There's been some like pretty big like ebbs and flows with the newspaper. When it comes to like actually going on like 17 and Channel 17 and ABC 23, like there's been a lot of really great relationships built. The challenge with that is that they don't always have anchors that stay for a really, really long time. So I feel like I've built relationships with people, and then like they go, and then I build another relationship, and then they kind of come and go for
like a wishy-washy.
They have contracts for like 2 years or whatever it may be, and so there's been some people that have stayed long term, and I've continued to build relationships with them, like Alex Fisher. He's on 17, and he's been there for quite some time, and Maddie, she's great, and Emily Coffey, she just got married. She has a different last name now on 23, and that's the cool part. Like, even if the relationship kind of like lasts for a little bit and somebody new comes along, then they have different ideas and different takes and like things they want to bring to the table, so it doesn't feel like stagnant ever, which is also really fun, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Nice. Interesting. Some beet juice.
Try not to like sip in the mic.
Oh, you go ahead.
You know. It's disgusting. I hate it. I do. It's not good at all. I do not like it.
It's just bland, huh?
It doesn't. It does not taste
not much
good.
taste.
It tastes like dirt. It does.
Well, it does grow in the ground.
I know, but specifically beets, they have like a gritty kind of like super earthy taste.
Yeah, it's like a different taste.
I don't like it. I just do it because I know it's good. Sometimes that's okay. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, from the last 10 years of running your business, what's been one of the biggest lessons you've learned?
That's a great question. I think that I'm a lot more capable than I would have expected. Like, knowing to trust in myself and knowing that I have my back. Like, showing up at all costs and just, like, pushing through has been something that's really served me well. And the confidence that I've built over the last 10 years, I mean, it's definitely ebbed and flowed too. Like during the pandemic, I think I was probably like the least confident I've ever been in my life.
Well, a lot of uncertainty too.
It was crazy.
You're just like, what's happening? What's going on? They're closing this. What the hell's going on?
I kind of enjoyed the challenge. And like in the beginning, I was like, I got this. This is easy. I can do this. No big deal. And then as I look back at some of the content I created, I can feel like my energy a little bit through watching, you know, like look, almost like if you look back at a scrapbook and you can remember like how you felt in certain moments. I can remember feeling like super confident in the beginning, like totally had it. I did a massive renovation and like took out a bunch of stuff and spent like a ton of money right off the bat. And that was like one of the biggest mistakes I think I made. Not like, I don't say mistake, maybe more like something that I wouldn't have been able to predict. Like, we thought it was going to be like 2-3 weeks, maybe a month or something. And how often is a restaurant closed? Like never. Right. And so I was like, oh, great time to take out this machine that's like been there for 20 years and like replace it and put something new. And then it kind of led to like new flooring, new tile, new like
you open up a can of worms and that's how it goes.
Yeah, new refrigeration, and it was like thousands of dollars in. And I thought, okay, well, business is going to go back to the way that it's been. Like we're just on a like month downturn. And then,
2 months, 3 months, 4 months.
2.5 years later. And I was like, man, that was a pretty like bold move to make at that time. And still knowing that I can trust myself and knowing I can get myself out of situations is something that I feel like I continuously learn. Like it's like an ever evolving lesson. Yeah.
Like you say, it gives you that confidence, like, I got this.
Yeah.
Even if it gets a little tough, it's okay.
Yeah, and I look back and I'm like,
learn.
I feel like great knowing that the decisions I made were good decisions based on the information that I had in front of me.
Yeah, exactly.
And like ever evolving, you know, like nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. And like we just do our best every day. And like feeling that like I have the capacity and the capabilities to get out of whatever is thrown my way. Like sometimes I kind of wanted to reverse on that, like almost like when I'm like tomorrow's going to be a fire. Like I kind of want to be like, no, I don't need to know that, because I feel like I might even be attracting a lot of like adversity because of it. So I've tried to find ways to like think a little differently around that too.
Which is smart, because that's one thing I've learned from Anna, is always checking how you're thinking.
Yeah.
Checking your thoughts.
Yeah.
And most people don't check their thoughts. They just let a thought go, and then it just goes and goes. But sometimes you gotta, why the hell was I thinking that? I need to check that thought, never think that again. Push it out, and then keep going on.
Like stop judging, you know?
Pretty much, yeah. That's something and that's why I like hanging out with Anna so much, because I always pick up little nuggets from her.
And through reading too, like there's a book called The Power of Now, I think it is, through, pretty sure that's what it's called, and it's by Eckhart Tolle. And
I'll check that out.
It's a little wild. It took me almost a year to read it, because I was listening, and he does this thing where he like clears energy with like a bell. So he'll just like do like a, but it like dings.
He goes, ding.
And then it's just not normal. Like it's weird. It's a little out there. And so through that though, I learned, you know, the way that we think and how we're always constantly in our heads. Our thoughts are like rolling at all times.
And millions of thoughts.
And so he challenges the listener to kind of like reflect on what's happening in your head. And one of the pieces in that book talked about like when you're in your shower and you're showering, like, are you really alone? Like, because most people say they take a shower and that's like their alone time. And he's like, what are you saying? Like, are you watching the water? Are you like, is there a commentary about like the water falling? Like looking at the water? Are you observing? Are you like processing that information? Or are you just literally still and thoughtless? And through that book, I realized like, man, my mind,
we never really thoughtless.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, that water is pretty. Oh, look at that. Like, oh, it's puddling over there. Huh, maybe I should get a squeegee. Like, you know, like there's all these things that are happening.
Oh, this feels great.
Yeah, like, oh, it's kind of hot
and
now.
I think that's where meditating comes in, where meditating helps, where kind of having your mind still. And it's harder, but once you keep doing it, that meditation, at least for me, you tend to have a little bit more control of your mind to be still. But that's really where it's at.
Yeah, and I noticed that from an energy perspective with my ring that I've been evaluating. When I meditate, when I do breath work, when I like am really mindful of that, my readiness score on that app, on the Aura ring, I get a crown. I'm like, oh, I'll take a crown.
There you
like
go.
90 and above, yes, please. Yeah,
nice.
It's kind of cool. So it is pretty impactful.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have connected that unless I had this. Yeah, I wouldn't have really like seen like how much it could like tangibly be like viewed. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And then how long do you usually meditate? When you meditate, about 10, 15 minutes?
It just depends. I have an app. It's called Simple Habit, I think. And let me check to see. Yeah, Simple Habit. And there's different like pre-settings that I'll do. I usually will do something before I go to bed. I notice a big difference if I listen.
Before bed.
And this one's like super simple. It's just like ambient sound. And then some are like more like guided meditation.
Oh, that's kind of cool they have that.
I love it. And I can even track to see like how often I've done it. Let me see what my rating is. It tells you you're like, so 40,592 hours or minutes of meditation.
Wow, that's good.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really good.
Not bad.
Oh, yeah. You just got to keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
That one doesn't seem like work, you know? It seems, because there's an app, I feel like I don't have to think about it. It's just more of a like press the button and do it, especially.
Sometimes I like the guided meditations.
Yeah. Like in the morning when I first wake up, I try like intentionally try to not look at anything else but just touch that app really quick, even if it's for like 7 or 8 minutes.
Right. Yeah, that's all you need.
Because if I look at my text or if I look at anything on my phone, then I don't get back to it most often. Yeah.
So you just got to click open first.
Literally. I need to like move it to where it's like on a screen that doesn't require me to unlock my phone or something.
Yeah, there you go.
You know? Yeah. So
just get like another cell phone that just has the app.
Oh, that's a good idea. Just keep it by my bed. Yeah.
And that's all it's for, is just click.
Good idea. Yeah. Because I will go down, like, you know, once you start your day in the morning.
Once it goes
like
down.
An hour in, and I'm like, what was I doing? I picked up my phone for a reason.
Yeah.
It was not any of those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So through your entrepreneur journey, what's one of the best pieces of advice you've received?
I used to read a lot of Brené Brown. Do you know who she is?
I've heard of her.
She's like a leadership author, and she does like research analysis, and and like she takes data and she studies it and she figures out ways for people to grow. And through that, like I learned about like creating like space for people within our team to develop. So I learned a lot about like developing myself and then also like kind of transferring some of that information to others. I think one of the biggest pieces of advice that I've learned is to like do the work to like show up in great ways and find ways to like make people feel better. This is a new thing that I learned. When I think about management, I think about people. I think of like their personality. I think about what's going on in their life at home. Like what are the competing factors that they have into showing up well. And just recently, probably about a year and a half ago, someone was like, yeah, Heather, that's all great. And how are you making them feel? And so for the last like year and a half, I've been trying to focus on ways that like leave people feeling better. And it's new to me. So it's not something that I've really like focused on for 8.5 years, you know? And that's been a really cool
game
like
changer
challenge. Yeah. And a great piece of advice.
Because it makes you think a little bit different of how you're going to speak to that person, huh?
Well, like thinking about how I would feel, I don't think about my feelings that often. Like I just like show up and do things. And so thinking about how I'm showing up and how I'm making people feel has been something that I've been like really trying to like shift. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's different.
Different
It
for
is,
sure.
huh?
Yeah, very different. I'm going to start thinking about that now.
Even my therapist, she was like, what is it like to experience Heather? And I was like, oof. What is it?
Oof.
Oof. Like this was like maybe a year and a half ago too, right around the same time.
Yeah.
So I got 2 pieces of advice from 2 different people within a really short period of time. Different and the same, I thought, because when I think about what it's like for you to experience me today, you know, like I come in here, I have all these things, I have this and that, and I have like stuff that's on my plate. Well, this is an easy one. Then I take your whole day, right? And then you unpack that. So at the end of the day, I've been kind of like just mentally kind of like doing a playback on what was it like for like the first person I saw today to experience me? What was it like for the second person?
Right.
What was it like for my team?
Yeah, and they're all different.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. So you start auditing your day and how you were in that moment.
Yeah. And sometimes I find
Being
like,
conscious of it.
yeah. And sometimes I find that like I have a lot going on in those days that I was telling you that I'll like kind of time stack a little bit. And I find myself getting like frustrated with myself because I don't have enough time to spend with those people that I've like scheduled in. And it makes me feel like they don't always get the best of me because I'm like 10 minutes late to something else. Like if one thing goes wrong from 8 a.m. to 10:30 in the morning, then that like skews my day. And so towards the end of the day, like it's just being really mindful of how I'm still choosing to show up and how I'm still choosing to like be with people, even when my time is like kind of limited on some days. It really makes me value the time that I have a little bit more time because then I can feel like really great about being present.
That's
good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, being present, I think, is one thing that's underrated or undervalued.
Yeah.
Because most of the time we're just boom, 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 and then gone. Boom, 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 gone.
Yeah.
But when you're actually present, if you can feel the difference of like, okay, you can see the other person's body language. You're not just like, okay, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
You're like actually paying attention. And most people can actually feel when you're present and when you're not.
Right.
Is especially I can always tell when someone's like, or if they're actually like paying attention.
100%.
And I feel like that can facilitate good relationships long term. Because if someone's always like not like taking the time to have a kind of being present with you, then you're kind of like, I wonder why they don't want to be present, or is it me? Or you start, so maybe I just kind of just back off of that person or whatever.
Yeah. In the Diary of a CEO, the podcast that I was telling you about, they talk a lot about those types of things. And I feel like you're going to just be like taking notes.
No, I'm for sure going to start listening to that.
It's great.
It sounds interesting for sure.
Yeah, it's great. And I think we can read other people's energy, and it feels
it
like
makes a difference.
Yeah, and when you're with people that like you're talking, the conversation is good and like it's just flowing, it feels like, wow, I want more of that.
Yeah,
and
time goes by fast, and then you feel energized.
Yeah, and it's kind of like being in flow. I think that's like the true definition of being in flow, when it's just everything's flowing well. You feel like you lose track of time, and like you want to be in that space. And I think that's why I also don't like that whole like constricted time thing. You know?
See why that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like at dinner or like going on an adventure, like who wants to go out of town and be like, oh, we have to be here at this like I want to know, like if I'm going to go out of town, there's going to be some kind of freedom to like explore and like learn and like
just go with the flow.
Meet new people. Yeah.
Never know who you'll meet out of town.
Yeah. Say yes. Yeah.
So for anyone who's looking to start a restaurant and is on the fence, what piece of advice would you tell that person?
I would say just do it. If that's what you really want. The first thing I would say is, how passionate are you? Because I feel like a lot of times, sometimes people get involved in things for reasons that are not tied to passion. And so that would be my first question. Are you passionate about eating? Are you passionate about food? And like, why would you want to do that? And if the answer was yes, they are passionate about those things, then I would say just do it. If they said, I don't really care about it, I'm just looking for a way to make money, I would say run. Yeah. Like run the opposite way. Like there's no way. Like every single day, if I wasn't passionate about these things, then I don't think I would have even gone a quarter of the way.
You'll throw in the towel quick.
Yeah.
So the passion made a big difference in keep going.
Yeah. I think that's something that applies to every business across the board.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you wake up in the morning, like there's going to be so many things that are thrown at us, like we say. And, like from a business standpoint, if like your why is like deeply rooted in like
to be strong
passion, then you're golden. Yeah.
What's your why?
My why is because I want to make a difference, and I want to be able to express myself in a creative way that's like heart connected, you know, like I wanted to be able to use my creativity in a way that would be impactful and inspiring, and I want to show people that they can do it too, you know, that it's like that's all it really takes. It's like if you have a dream, you have a goal, you have a vision, like
go for it.
Yeah, like you can do that. It's the only thing that really gets in the way is us. Like if we'll figure it out, we'll figure out how to find money, we'll figure out how to like pay the bills, we'll figure all of that out if our passion is connected to what we're doing.
And it's funny you say that because it usually always works out that way.
I think for sure that I always think it's not gonna. I'm like in my mind, I'm like, okay, wait, I have like $200 in my bank account right now. Like how am I gonna pay these things? And then the next thing you know, I get a contract for this and a contract for that, and like some catering for this, and like before you, like that. Or like I'll pay, like the other day I paid sales tax and like workman's comp stuff and employment tax. I think I paid like $20-something thousand on like March 31st, and I was like, man, my account was looking good, like everything was like great, and then I'm like, I got like $3,000 in there right now, went from like 20-something thousand to like nothing, and I don't know, like it just keeps coming, and the more I show up, the more it keeps happening, and I tell myself all the time, I'm like, if I'm not supposed to do it, then it's just not going to work, and it just keeps working. And here's
keep growing.
It's wild. Yeah, I never thought that would be that way. I thought I would like have figured it out better by now, you know, like I did. I thought
be like that still.
I thought for sure I would be like, I got like $50,000 in there, and like I can do anything I want. Like no, it's just every single day.
There's always something.
Yeah. And then like evolving and like investing.
Yeah,
like,
growing and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, like buying new equipment or new point of sale system, or like we just did this like penny installation at the restaurant in the back. Okay. So there's like a hallway that had spoons in it, and we took out the spoons. It was like a really big artistic, like 3-dimensional experience with the spoons. They were up for like 3 years. Too many years, because it started to get a little like it was time for them to go, literally. And I was like, okay, what do we do next? And I asked the community to donate pennies. So we got like, I don't know, dozens of people came out and they dropped off like 50 pennies or 20 pennies or whatever. And then I bought some pennies and we installed like thousands of pennies on the floor. And one of our team members was like, I want to do it. And I was like, you want to do it? And she's like, I do. I didn't think I would want to do that, but I want to do it. So it took her like probably like 3.5 weeks, and we're like 90% done with it right now.
Oh,
It should
dang.
be done within the next couple of days, and it's kind of cool. We're gonna epoxy it, so
Is it on the wall or on the floor?
it's on the floor.
On the floor.
Have you
Yeah.
been taking like videos of like the transformation?
Yeah, I
Nice.
have, and it's really good for like grounding and stuff because of the copper. Because some of it is
yeah.
like copper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
copper's good.
Yeah, it's like
copper's
good
really for
energy.
you.
Yeah, from inflammation and like for all
Yeah, 'cause I
different.
know some people will even wear like copper for like inflammation on the wrist
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
I've seen that.
Yeah, or they'll put it like in their garden because it's supposed to help with the electromagnetism of everything and kind of increase the nutrient uptake of the plants and different stuff like that too.
I put it in flowers. So like when I do fresh flowers in the water, like actually in like if you bought somebody a bouquet, if you find a penny that's 1982 or older, it works because after that it's not actually copper. But it will keep the flowers living for like 10 days longer than normal.
Because
So
of
they're
that.
more vibrant, huh?
It kills the bacteria somehow, like
Yeah, it's
in
the
the
energy
water.
from the copper too. It kind of whatever is in that property of the copper helps facilitate some kind of environment to help the plants thrive more.
Yeah, it's so weird to me. Like I didn't think it would work, and then I tested it, and it.
Works.
I have this plant. I've gone on the news with it like several times now. It's just like the greenery from an arrangement, and I've had it for like a year and a half, and I just
Okay.
have it in water with a penny in it.
Oh, nice.
And it's still going?
It's like
a
thriving.
year?
A year and a half. It even has like where the leaves grow. It's not a flower. It's like mostly greenery. It's all
Yeah.
greenery. I don't even remember what it's called. It's like a stalk, like a single stalk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But little like buds kind of come out of the middle of it. And I
Oh,
have to
yeah.
like clip them off because it looks a little weird. Like it's
Yeah.
growing like antlers. it's kind of, it's like not normal looking. Yeah.
Those-
Yeah. It's like it's that's how well it's doing though.
Pennies are going to grow out of there.
I know.
the
That
money
if I
tree.
think- I haven't found that yet. And if that's what comes of it,
We
maybe
have them
maybe-
everywhere.
I'll put them all over the place.
There you go.
Got the trees printing money.
Literally. If you guys figure that out, let me know too.
Oh, yeah.
I got
that's-
proof of it.
We'll just charge you a fee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no worries.
So on your whole journey, as far as like your entrepreneur journey, what's been one of the funnest parts for you?
I think just meeting the people that I've met over the years and like having opportunities to do stuff like this and coming across people that are doing great things and being able to share that. There's this really cool thing that happened one day, like maybe 3.5 years ago. This couple came into the restaurant and they were sitting on the patio, and anytime I go in, even if I'm there for 10 minutes, I try to talk to somebody new. Like it's like my number one goal, to see what their life was like, what they're doing for their day, or how their food was, like whatever it may be. I try to make a point. And these people were telling me that they're from San Francisco and they had stopped there because they found us on like Yelp or something. And I was like, oh, cool, I'm so glad you found us, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, we're looking for a way to get out of this like cycle we're in San Francisco. Like we're never going to be able to like raise our family in a house that we could purchase. Like the cost of living is so expensive. And I was like, well, if you're looking for that, then Bakersfield's a great
Come
place.
to Bakersfield.
Yeah.
I was like, you could buy a house here for, especially then, this was like, I think this was like right in the end of the pandemic. Like maybe it was like 2022-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you could easily buy a property here for
Oh, yeah,
like
compared over there,
250,
yeah.
maybe 300,000. So about 6 months ago, they come back. And I was in an interview with somebody, and they were like, hey, I'm so sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. Do you remember me? And I was like, we've seen like hundreds of people every day there, like so many
Yeah.
people. And he was like, you had talked to me and my wife for like 10 minutes, like 3 years ago. And we were saying we wanted to raise a family and we wanted to do all these things. And you said that it would be great for us to buy a house in Bakersfield. So we did.
Nice.
He's like, we've bought 3 houses now.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, you got a
I think
little-
he said 3. Maybe he was closing on another one, 2, and then maybe he was closing on 1, and he had given birth to
Oh,
a
wow.
child, and he's like, we're renting out this one, and he's like, you changed our life.
That's crazy. 10
That's
minutes.
great. 10 minutes.
10-minute conversation. And
Mm-hmm.
that's
That's
something,
amazing.
Yeah.
And that feels like
Oh, yeah.
That's-
serendipitous.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
that's like you just change someone's trajectory of their whole life from one city to another.
I know.
And then they're even happy.
And happy, and they feel like grateful, and like that happens all the time. Stuff like that
That's
happens
amazing.
all the
Yeah.
time.
That's probably why you've been thriving for 10 years.
Just like good karma, hopefully.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, yeah,
It
for
comes
sure.
back.
Definitely
Yeah,
good karma.
It comes back.
I hope so.
'Cause
I
it
try
seems
every day.
As far as like talking to you, you seem like very much like that person of always giving, and not worrying about receiving from that person.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
think is a very key thing as far as when good things come back to you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I try to put out good things. I'm not perfect. I
No
feel like
one is.
every day I try
Yeah.
to just do better than I did the day before and learn and grow. And yeah, I just think it's great though to meet so many different people,
Oh, yeah.
types of people.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. Because
Doing
it's
great.
working.
You're
Yeah.
doing a great job.
Thank you.
Because a 10-year business.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, because a 10-year business is not easy to run and make the
No.
adjustments, and going through the COVID, and then now making adjustments now, and just
Yeah.
continuously pushing yourself and getting uncomfortable and doing the things you know you need to do, even though you don't want to do it.
I know, and trying to find ways to like hire out for the things that I don't want to do. That's been something
Yeah.
that's been like a big blessing. Like I always think like I can't afford to do these. I used to like years ago, like 6, 7, 8 years ago. I'm like I can't afford this. I can't afford that. And I started to tell myself, you know what? What if I like work harder to afford those things and like dedicate my time in other areas that are focused on working harder versus like and really like finding people that are really good at what they do. You know, and like giving them that opportunity, and then like thinking about it from a different perspective. Like my contractor that I've been working with over at the property that I just finished, when I gave him a deposit, I noticed that my ring like stress level was like through the roof. And so the next time I paid him, I was like, Heather, you know what? You're creating an opportunity for him to support his family, to pay for his team members, to create change in his life, to like build. And so then I looked at my results, and it was like restorative energy
Nice.
instead of stress. And so
That's how you speak to yourself.
yeah,
Will create
Yeah, that's
the
a
stress
big,
or
big
unstress
difference.
you.
yeah,
That's like a good unlock for you.
yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
oh, you can
So-
just switch that
Yeah.
energy.
Like I can't afford to do the things that make an impact. I can't afford to outsource things with people that are doing amazing, that are skilled in their field. I can't afford to say yes to things that maybe like I wouldn't have thought would be feasible monetarily. You know?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Because I've heard even like from Robert Kiyosaki where he says, don't say you can't afford that. Rephrase that and say, how can I afford that?
Right.
So then it's like, how can I get that? Not, that's too
So
expensive.
you can figure it out.
And
So
he's
then-
Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yeah, I was gonna say Rich Dad Poor
Great.
Dad. That was one of, and that's actually his game, the Rich Dad Poor Dad game, the rat race.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of how I started learning even like about investing.
Interesting.
Because in that game, essentially, you pick a random card and that's your job. So
Yeah.
you get that card. I got the janitor. So I was the lowest, put him down here. And then you go on, you roll the dice, you keep playing. And then you get these cards. And as you get these cards, you can decide whether to pass it or kind of buy the assets or kind of, you're essentially going through life.
Build.
And you either can build or spend money here, do this, buy this asset. So it kind of teaches you essentially how to get out of the rat race without realizing it.
Yeah.
And it does it at a point where it doesn't matter how much income you make.
Right.
That anyone can get out of the rat race.
Yeah.
But you have to know how to manage your money. And that's one thing that game kind of opened my mind, and I was like, it's an investing.
Right.
You need to invest in
That's the
things
key.
to help you grow, to afford the things you want to afford.
Well, I think even getting creative with that is something that's pretty impactful too. Because I used to think like that. I used to think like, okay, I earn this money, work really hard, and then save that money and then grow. And that's how I started my business. I worked like so ridiculously hard and like saved every penny and tried to like cut corners. Like I haven't dyed my hair in like 20 years.
Me
And
neither.
For women, I was gonna say, for women, that's not like a thing, you know, like
Right.
especially as women get older, like they dye their hair, it's normal. And so cutting that cost out at a young age, like that allowed me to save like $160 every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And that was
It
like
adds up,
a long
yeah.
time ago. Now it's like $200 something every whatever. And so when I did the math on that, I was like, okay, that equates to like X amount in 5 years, that equates to X amount in 10 years, 20 years. So I started to think like that originally. And then I realized that that's not the game for me. That's a small game for me, because that doesn't equate to, that's like 30 years of time, slow road, you know? And when I start to think about like, what does it look like to think even bigger? I think that's when it starts to get like believing in things that maybe I can't see, that aren't tangible right now, and knowing that I'm able to achieve goals beyond my big dreams. And then trying to attract that kind of energy. Like, I have an example, just kind of out there.
Go ahead.
So when I first started the restaurant, I bought that person's business from them. And I had like my whole life savings. Like, I had saved like $20-something thousand, and that's where I started. And prior to that, I had taken like my childhood life savings. I had saved from like babysitting and like working hard as a kid at McDonald's, like $4 an hour. And I invested into a business that I started at the Valley Plaza, selling like retail jewelry.
Okay.
So I invested like $10,000 of my life savings, like whole life savings. And then I worked really hard, saved the money from working at the Valley Plaza and like 5 a.m. to midnight during like holiday time with like 15 employees, like $15,000 a month in rent, like crazy business. Then I took that money and invested it into the restaurant. Well, then I had an opportunity to purchase my building, and I didn't have any money. Like, I already spent everything I had. And in the beginning phases of a restaurant, any business really, like,
you just forking money out,
throwing money out there. It was like bleeding money, literally every day, and finding ways to find a penny, a dollar, 20 cents. Like, it was ridiculous. And so I met this guy at the restaurant one day, and he was like, if you ever have an opportunity to purchase your building, let me know. So I saved his number. So I called him. He gave me the money. He gave me the money to purchase the building. And I had my parents help me. They gave me some money too to put down. I had to put down like $105,000 to purchase the building.
Wow.
And so through like keeping an open mind, talking to people, like having a vision and knowing like I want something bigger than just like that one thing, it attracted more.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
100%.
That's pretty badass.
Right?
That's exactly how it works.
Yeah.
And like working, I still have debt. Like, so it's not, and I think making sure that it doesn't have to look a certain way. So in my mind, like being able to purchase a piece of commercial property, I would have like all these things that would have to happen, right? Like, well, none of those things really happened. They wouldn't go way against all of the thoughts that I would have thought what I would have needed. And I was able to still make it happen. Purchasing a property to renovate, like, I didn't have any money. The guy that was standing at the door to let people in for the open house that day, there was like 40 people in line, 30, 40 people in line to go and see this property. I told him I would give him a cash offer. I didn't have any money. He accepted my offer, shook my hand. He took the deal. And then I found money. I went and found hard money to do it.
There you go.
Took out another loan. And so I'm going to have a lot of debt right now. And at the same time, I know eventually, hopefully, that will like kind of like work itself out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All it is an investment.
Yeah. And like, but continuing to believe in myself.
Exactly.
I think that's where it like kind of comes back to.
Yeah.
You know?
Like you say, you attract it.
Yeah. And it's not like, because I used to think.
The mindset.
I thought like when I was paying the building, I was like, I'll just pay extra. Because like that's what people do, right? You like work really hard.
Pay a little bit faster.
Yeah. But then I was like, I'm never going to pay this off. There's no way. Like, it did the math on it, 30, 40 years. Like, I still, even me paying double, triple the payment, like, it's going to take me a lifetime. And so then I was like, well, what if I took that money that I was paying extra on and I applied that to something else? And that's when I found that other property.
There you go.
So like getting creative with the way that we see things and like kind of like thinking outside the box.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a way of thinking.
I like that.
I like it.
It's it's not good for my cortisol. It definitely doesn't come with like a stressful territory, and I'm still like trying to find ways to lean into it, and I have not figured it out. Like every day I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why did you sign up for this, Heather? What is going on?
But that's the only way to grow.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what it is.
Yep.
You know what your potential is, and you're like, okay, I know I can be here, so how do I get here? And I think that's why you have that high achieving mindset.
And it's uncomfortable.
It
I
does?
feel uncomfortable even sharing it with you. Saying that out loud, hearing myself say that, and sharing it with your following, that's scary.
But you're manifesting and making it reality.
I want to buy another property.
Well,
I want to do it.
You're going to do it.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
I want to find another place that's better than the one that I've already created, and I want to do
I think Anna was saying that the same thing, and she ended up closing on that house.
So we had her and I were meeting in front of the biocharger, which she has in her space, and she was like, "Girl, I want to find this commercial property," and I was like, "Girl, does it have to be a commercial property?" And she was like, "Well, that's what I want." I'm like, "Yeah, but can you find something that's residential, that's in the downtown area that you would want, that would work?" So we look right then and there. Her and I, we look. She finds a place and she closes, and she makes an offer the next day. They accept it.
Yeah, I made an offer today. Hopefully they accept. And then I trained her the following week, and she was like, "I got it."
Yeah, which is wild, and at the same time, it's believing.
Yep.
You know, it's thinking differently,
Manifesting,
creating an opportunity to not have it look a certain way.
Yep.
It's uncomfortable for me still, and even so moving to another place, getting up, moving my stuff, every single day I feel like I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone, and it's scary. It feels scary. My heart feels heavy just talking about it. I'm like,
because it's unknown.
Yeah,
the
I know.
unknown is always scary.
And I know that the properties that I've built and created, they're really unique. They have a really not Bakersfield vibe, and they're pretty impressive, and I want to do more of it, and I love it. It's I think I was made for it.
There you go.
You're having fun.
Yeah. It doesn't feel fun all the time. It feels oof. It's oh wow, what is this?
Yeah.
I'm hoping in 5 years I'll be that was fun.
Yeah, there you go.
Sometimes it looks fun backwards, maybe not in the moment. Yeah.
But that's good though. You kind of just keep pushing yourself, and you just keep pushing the limits, getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And even how you're sharing that's another awareness of yourself of I'm sharing this, it's uncomfortable, but I'm still going to share it.
Yeah.
Because it may help someone in their decision making, or even down the line, they're like, oh, that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But I heard so-and-so did scary thing. Right, let's just
do it. Gary Vee says all the time, he's the thing that makes people incredible, all of us out here showing up on podcasts, showing up in big ways, it's not that we're some different person, that we have some magical component, some DNA that's different. It's that we are just like everybody else, and we're doing it anyways. We're no different. Mm-hmm. We're all the same. Just some of us show up in different ways, and anybody can do it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You just gotta get out of your head.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Yes.
Is the judgment of others, and the judgment of yourself of not doing something because you think so and so is gonna think something.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest hindrance of most people.
And being for me, with so many people at the restaurant coming in, and there's this vulnerability, because I don't have it all figured out, and I do my best, and knowing that feels oof, I could quit tomorrow and be I don't have to think about that, right? Then I think about it and I'm okay, maybe I wouldn't think about that. Maybe I wouldn't think about the team that I have at the restaurant. Maybe I wouldn't think about the food and the time and how fast the food's getting out there, and I wouldn't be thinking about all the components that go into running that specific business. That's not going to change who I am. I still am who I am. Mm-hmm. So maybe 6 months from there I'll develop some other business, and I'll find myself in the same boat, managing people, creating ideas, bringing those ideas to fruition, doing all these things. And it's not going to change. I'm the constant. And I get to figure out how to navigate and jump the hurdles and create new opportunities for growth every day.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
Agree.
Yeah.
Essentially, you're still going to be doing the same thing, just different industry, and the same stress, the same everything else, but you're just one industry to the next, to the next.
Yeah.
Because business is the same, it's just a different industry.
Yeah, and even if it's the same field, a different business, catering, custom cakes for weddings, flowers, photography, I could think of all the things. People are people at the end of the day. And there was a guy that worked with me for a while back, for in the first year in business, And we're sitting outside, we're doing a review, and he was like, he's just not having it. Like, I could tell it was time for him to go. Like, he didn't want to be there. And he's like, you know, Heather, like, I want to be here. And I was like, do you? And he's like, I do. I was like, I don't feel that. Like, I don't feel like you really want to be here. I feel like you don't want to be here, and life's too short, like, for that. For you to be here and show up in a way that's like, your energy is not aligning with this, right? And in that moment, this car, like, ran the stop sign, crashed into this other car comes crashing towards us, like, 15 feet from where we're sitting. Whoa. And he's like, did you plan that? And I was like, no, dude, I can't, like, plan cars crashing. Like, what? No, I don't plan these things. And he's like, Heather, like, that was pretty, like on point for our conversation. I'm like, yeah, dude, you gotta go. Like, you cannot be working here. This doesn't work. And then, like, a couple of weeks later, there's these other two guys that weren't getting along, and, like, they're, like, arguing with each other about something, and they're like, it was the same guy with a different person before. They weren't getting along. And one of the guys was, like, pissed, and he's like, either I go or he goes, like, one of us has to go. And I was like, that's not how it works. Like, there's always going to be people that you're going to work with in your life, and you're not going to like everybody. Like, we're not going to always feel, like, super connected to each and every person. Like, the goal is to find a way to make the most of whatever we're dealt. Like, how can you, like, be in an environment and a team and, like, literally, like, show up and, like, evolve? Because the people part is not going to change. We're always going to have that one person at the office that we just don't like the way they drink their coffee.
Whatever, you know? They do.
The energy.
The way he fucking walks.
Literally everything. You're like, man.
But yeah, people will be people. So just learning to deal with them.
Yeah.
Or finding ways to, like, okay, we won't talk about that, and we'll just do our job and go on.
Do our job, and that's it.
Won't say nothing.
Yeah.
Boom.
Make the most of it.
Yeah, I like that. How did that go?
They stayed. They both okay, the one guy, the guy that wasn't liking the other guy, they figured it out. I actually had them have a conversation together and, like, kind of, like, squash what was going on. And then it got better. The kid that was, like, super young, that with the car crash thing, he ended up being there for a little bit longer. His energy changed for, like, a month. And then I was like, I know. And he ended up, like, leaning more into school and, like, getting a degree. And I kind of, like, I try to talk to people about, like, what their passions are and, like,
follow it.
Find ways to,
follow
like,
your passion.
Yeah, and, like, even do, like, personality tests. Like,
nice.
Most often before I even will interview somebody, I'll have them take the Briggs-Myers test.
Okay.
The one that tells you, like, what your letters are. I'm an ENFJ, I think I am. And then, like, through that, it talks about, like, how they work with others and, like, what their strengths are, what they're likely to do in their life, what career paths are meant for them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's kind of unique.
Yeah, it's fun. Have you guys ever done it?
Yeah.
I've done it once, but I forget what mine was.
Do you remember what yours was?
I believe I was just saying, like, yours. Because with entrepreneurs tend to have that same.
Yeah. I noticed that it changes. So during the pandemic, I started off as a campaigner, which is somebody who's like, yay, like cheerleading, like, let's go, community building, all the things. During the pandemic, I became a commander, which was like, let's get shit done. Like, we're doing all of the things, you know, like, we're not messing around. There's no drinking. There's, like, we're, like, go mode. And then post-pandemic, I am a protagonist, which is someone who's, like, a little bit of all of that. And, like, a community leader that, like, really, like, takes pride in, like, community building and also is, like, an advocate for others.
Nice.
So it shifts.
I didn't even know they shift.
Yeah. You can take it again.
I'm going to have to try that out every 3 months.
I think they recommend, like, once a year.
Once a year.
Yeah, like, once every, like, 6 months or so. It's, like, not an always thing, but if you took it, like, 5 years ago, send me your results. I'm curious.
Yeah, I wonder what I'll be.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
It's 16 personalities.
Okay.
That's what it's called, and it's the Briggs-Myers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that today and see what it comes out.
Yeah, it's quick. It's, like, 5-10 minutes. It's free.
Yeah.
5-10 minutes. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's fun.
And have you found value from that test
Huge.
From hiring standpoint?
100%. There was a girl that was in the kitchen, and we used to have it to where, like, every single team member was responsible for answering the phone. And in the morning, she would be scheduled from, like, 8 to 10, and then somebody wouldn't come in until, like, another time, and she would be responsible for taking orders. Well, she took the test, and she was, like, 1% extroverted. She was 99% introverted. So every time she answered that phone, she was like, it was like depleting her like no other. It was like hell for her. And so by her taking that, I realized that I would have never known. And I was like, girl, like you are doing something that is way out of your comfort zone and makes you feel like uncomfortable in your own skin. So then I started scheduling her differently, and like I was able to kind of make an adjustment.
Oh, nice.
It was kind of cool.
That's unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely unique.
And then there's times that I like won't hire somebody. I'll be like, you know, because like
work.
in a way that's like a good thing. Like they'll take the test, and I'm like, dude, like you want this job, but like can you tell me a little bit more about like what you're passionate about? And like they'll take it, and they'll discover that it's not a good fit for them, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it's like a win for both of us.
Oh yeah.
It's a good vetting system too. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Before hanging out with someone, take this.
I know, right? Like across all boards.
All new friends must take this test.
Yeah.
Friendship, dating, employment, like all the things.
Before we talk, just take this test.
Literally. When it's fun. Like how often do you have an opportunity to get insight like that into your life?
Yeah, you don't really think about it either really too much.
No. And there's so many levels on there. Like the breakdown, it talks about how you show up at work, how you show up in your personal relationships. Like there's different categories, and it kind of like gives you a lot of insight into different types of your personality type. I like it.
Well, that's a good one. Yeah, I'll definitely be taking that today and send it to you.
It's better than like a horoscope, you know? It's like I feel like a horoscope's like...
It goes a little deeper.
Yeah, that's just like, oh, the stars are aligning. Like, okay, like energy, all the things. It seems a little froofy to me, like horoscope-wise. And I know some people love and believe in that and they like live by that. However, I like this a little bit better.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to start wrapping up the podcast.
Okay.
So to wrap it up, if you can share one piece of advice that you would give the audience, whether in life or business or both.
Okay. I think looking back at our lives and considering like where we were as a child, and then thinking about maybe something that we would tell ourselves as a child is something that I've really like used as a tool for my growth. So when I look back at my like 5-year-old self, like sometimes I'll maybe jot down like a note or something and like save it and then like look back at that. What advice would you give to yourself as a child? And what are some of the things that you, knowing what you know now in your life, that you could share with your child self?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It's really neat because like for me, I've wrote like a 1-page or like little like kind of notes on that. And then I've like rediscovered them like later, like 5 years after. And most often it's like, life is not that serious. Smile more, have fun, like you have your back, like you can do these things, you can do hard things, like you're capable of so much more than you know. And it's just kind of cool to be able to like...
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. I'm going to try that.
Yeah. All the things. You have so much to do now. I'm like, I feel like I'm leaving you with like homework. I know. And we have an audience to like to hold you accountable. I know.
You gotta update them.
If anybody does do any of those things, I'd love to share it with me. I'm on Instagram. I manage the page on Locale's page, so it's Locale Eatery Bakersfield or Heather Laganelli on Instagram.
Okay, perfect. Well, you guys give her a follow, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. What's your story?